Hi, Claude Whitacre here. I'm a sales trainer. I talk to groups of salespeople. I talk to groups of business owners. So if your income is determined by how much you sell, you might enjoy this. Okay, well, a lot of times when I'm giving a speech, somebody will ask me about when they're making appointments with people, whether they're making an appointment to go see somebody, or they're going out cold knocking and cold calling, and they're calling somebody on the phone, or they're just knocking on their business, or they're knocking on their door. They're just going to see them at their business, and they're going to cold call these people, and they want to make an appointment with these people. And what I'm going to tell you about also works if it's a referral, because what's going to happen is they're going to ask you one of several questions. And what I want to talk to you about today is the question, how long will this take? Because you're going to say, I just want to talk to you about your business, or you're going to have whatever approach you want to use, which we talk about in other videos. But then they're going to say, well, how long is this going to take? You have to understand why they're asking that question. Here's why. They want to know, they want to look for a reason to say no. So if you say, let's say that it really takes you half an hour to do a decent job of presenting your product. If you say half an hour, they're going to say, oh, I don't know if I can, right now half an hour is just way too long. I don't know if I could ever, half an hour. And if you tell them it's an hour, you're never going to get in. You go, well, it'll take me about an hour. Nobody wants to sit down talking to a cold calling salesperson for an hour. Nobody wants to do that. So the reason that they're asking this is because they want to give a reason why they can't do it. And they want a reason to say no. And when you tell them that it's going to take an hour or whatever, that's too long. So here's what I say. When somebody says, if I'm calling them on the phone and they say, how long is this going to take? I always say it's going to take about 10 minutes unless you have questions. Now, why do I say that? Well, it's really hard to say no to 10 minutes, first of all. But is my thing really going to take 10 minutes? It's going to take, first of all, way less than 10 minutes if they're not a good prospect. It's going to take way less than 10 minutes if they're not interested, or if I can't entice them to listen more. It's going to take way less than 10 minutes if they don't ask me a question. So it is true. In fact, it's going to take less than the 10 minutes that I ask for. It's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 minutes before I decide that this is probably not profitable for either one of us, and thank you for your time, and I'm going to go now. Okay? But if they ask a question, now that's on them. Now they are the ones asking me to stay because they ask a question. And you can't do this. When they ask you a question, you can't say, well, I would answer that question, but you know what? I did say 10 minutes. We'll need to reschedule for another time. So you're not going to say that. So I just say 10 minutes. Why? Because it's very difficult to say no to 10 minutes. See? And if they'll say, is that how long? And I've had this happen a couple of times. They'll say, is that how long a presentation takes? Does the presentation only take 10 minutes? And I'll say, it only takes 10 minutes unless you're interested in what I have to offer. And you start asking me questions. And then as a courtesy, I'll stay as long as it takes to answer the questions for you. But that's going to be completely up to you, whether you want to ask me questions or not. Does that sound fair enough? See, there's just nothing to say no to there. They're just looking for a reason to say no, and I just give them nothing to say no to. 10 minutes is like, I can almost hold my breath for 10 minutes. We can swim for 10 minutes. We can be in an elevator for 10 minutes. 10 minutes is not a long period of time. So it's really hard for somebody to say, well, I just can't fit 10 minutes in for the next 3 months. That doesn't even sound right to them. They can't even say it and keep a straight face. But if you say an hour, they can say, well, I don't have an hour, for 3 months because, we got all this other stuff coming up. See, but 10 minutes, I just ask them for 10 minutes. Then I say, it's 10 minutes unless you have questions. Does that sound fair enough? And I say it like I do it every day, which I do. I say it like it takes no time at all, and like I don't even care if they say yes. It's 10 minutes unless you have questions. Does that sound fair enough? And the answer to that is yes. Now when I said, does that sound fair enough? See, I didn't say, can I come out and see you? I said, does that sound fair enough? And what they're doing is judging, well, yeah, that sounds fair enough. Well, when I say, yes, that sounds fair enough, they're also saying, yes, I will see you. Although I didn't even ask, will you see me? Because now they have to, now that's a thing of, oh, I don't know if I want to see this guy. But if I say, does that sound fair enough? And they say yes, they know that that also means yes. Even though I didn't ask them directly, can I see you? See? Although I've done that in the past. I've already said, I just want to meet you. See? Well, there's a lot of different ways to get an appointment. And there's a lot of different ways to answer certain questions you're going to get when you're trying to get an appointment. I cover all of those things in complete detail and in depth in my book, Sales Prospecting, the Ultimate Guide to Finding Highly Likely Prospects You Can Close in One Sale. Or one call, sorry. It's on Amazon. Thank you.